right, y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? It is episode 5 of the Black Podcast Show. Yes, you did get lucky enough to get a 5th episode. I know you sitting wherever you at watching this, wondering how you got so lucky. I'm not sure, but you did. And I got lucky enough to have you watching me. And I got lucky enough today. We having a very, very, very special episode. What I'm doing today is going to be called a community discussion. Community conversation rather, and I wanted to actually have a teacher on my show to talk about virtual learning. I've been seeing so many people just kind of having issues with it, teachers having issues, parents having issues, and I think teachers and parents sometimes butt heads. So I just wanted to have a teacher on the show to kind of, you know, just see where she's coming from with it. And I'm lucky enough that my mom is a teacher, so I went ahead and invited her on the show, and she didn't even charge me. So, let's jump. We'll jump right into it. This is my mom, Tomeka Mosley. Do you want to tell everybody where you teach?
Yeah, I guess I can. I don't want people stalking me or anything, but I do teach at an intermediate school in Duncanville, Texas. I teach at Brandenburg Intermediate. I teach English Language Arts, 6th grade.
Oh, they sound bad.
No.
6th grade, 11-year-olds.
I actually love them. It's right before they're on the cusp, so okay. I still get them right before they turn into the little extra wonderfuls that they are.
They sound musty. But anyway, so with the virtual learning. Mm-hmm. What do you think about it as of right now? Not what do you think about it, but do you like the virtual learning? Do you prefer it?
Nope.
Not at all?
Nope. I did not get into teaching to teach from home. Mm-hmm. I mean, even as a college learner, I didn't care for it. Okay. I mean, I did it because it was easy. But these are brand new kids that really are needing your hands on.
Okay.
And it may not be something that you need to like touch and you're not manipulating things with your hands, but these are young students who if you're not walking them through it, if you're not holding their hands, right, they're not getting it. And I can actually speak from a teacher and a parent.
Right.
Because I have a high school student who is bright, who is smart, and is actually crying to me and saying to me, I'm not getting this working from home. Mm-hmm. So I don't care for it.
Okay. Now, as far as saying that, you know, a lot of the kids need the hands-on approach, they need more than just screen time. Mm-hmm. That's actually, you know, let's just get right into it. That's something that parents have expressed is a problem for them. So mm-hmm. I asked a few of my Facebook friends who are parents to kind of, you know, tap in, let me know what are some of the issues you have with the virtual learning. And that's what they said is, you know, the teachers need to be giving the students easier work because what the work that they're being given right now is work that feels like they need someone hovering over them and helping them every step of the way. And she said that's unrealistic.
It is unrealistic. However, now, what I did for my classes, and I can't speak for other teachers, mm-hmm. but what I did for my classes is I really hope and pray that most of the kids come to my Zoom.
Okay.
And, of course, it's like if you go to class, you're going to get way more information than if you're reading directions and trying to figure this out at home.
Right.
So we go over it. I do leave extra time after our FaceTime to help students and walk through things if they need it. Of course, no one needs help.
Right.
Because, you know, yeah. So I have maybe 1 or 2 students that may fall back and ask, you know, hey, I need help with this, or how do you do this? And it's usually just a clarification on the directions, usually. And coincidentally, these are the kids who I really don't have or am even worried about as far as grades. They have everything turned in.
And those are the ones asking for help. The ones that are already doing good.
Yeah, they're the ones that are participating. They're the ones who are raising their hand to respond to questions or to the text. So those are not the ones that I'm necessarily worried about. And then you have a lot of students who are actually, they do get up and they do, I'm not going to say a lot, but you have some kids who actually get up and tune in. Now, I don't know if someone is at home forcing them to tune in, but again, like I said, they're not asking for help. And sometimes I get work back. Sometimes you can look at the responses and tell, oh, you just clicked anything.
Okay.
just to say that it's turned in. Or my all-time favorite, I'm just gonna click submit
and not do nothing.
Nothing. And I'm so wonderful in mine is that I'll write a little note back. Hey, this is what you need to do. You know, this, and this. If you need some help, let me know. And they're so wonderful. They just send it right back to me.
Blank again.
So,
I mean, but I feel like, you know, I don't have kids, but I just feel like, to me, that's where I feel kind of annoyed, because it's like, to me, that's probably the parents that's saying, oh, you know, this virtual learning stuff ain't working.
Well, and I wanted to say this too, because I'm sorry, I got off track. Even though I'm doing the Zooms, but when I'm doing my, when I log into my classroom, so my kids, they can go to my Google Classroom, and my classrooms are done by day.
Okay.
So I have everything subjected or listed by day. Mm-hmm. And if you click into the day, so let's say that you missed today, you didn't go to the Zoom, I have went and did another recording of just like if you were in class and I'm talking to you, I'm going through, I have a full slideshow presentation. I even take a step further, in any additional systems or things that I want you to know, I put it into the slide.
Okay.
And I walk through that with you, so that shouldn't be a hindrance. Any additional videos or YouTube things that I'm bringing in to kind of help bring this lesson in, I drop those into the slide. And I take them out when I'm just posting to my Google Classroom, so you can see this is everything. So there's a slideshow, there's a video, there's a slideshow. There
you're
is
presenting it.
Then there's YouTube's. And then on the optional instructions, I list every single thing with all the instructions verbatim, so that you should not have any questions. You should not fail this.
Okay.
And again,
so that sounds like, that sounds like a lot.
It is.
It sounds like you're, doing a lot to make sure that your students are getting what you're trying to teach them. So not only are you doing the actual Zoom classrooms, you're actually recording a whole separate video. Are you posting the Zoom that you're doing with the other students?
No, okay, so at the beginning of the year, I did attempt to do that, so that students would feel like they were actually in class too.
Right.
And I don't know, it was something weird was going on. I could only record one.
Okay.
So it was like, because I have 3 classes, but 2 of my classes, we come in 2 separate sessions.
Okay.
So like we'll meet for 30 minutes, and then I'm supposed to have 30 minutes where give them time to independently work.
Okay.
And
then
I can possibly help other kids, and then I bring them back in 30 minutes. Well, it would literally only allow me to record one. Not one per class, but just one for the whole day.
Okay.
And I had a lot of them that were not recorded at all. So I had found a new program, and that's what I don't even record on Zoom at all anymore.
Okay.
I just do the screen castify, and
gotcha.
So, and it gives me like a little square at the bottom, and I can just talk through it, just like I said, like we were in class. And
that's cool.
I just talk about it, and then we're gonna go to this screen, and
I'm thinking a lot of parents must not have that. A lot of teachers must not be doing that, because a lot of parents are saying that like I said, from one of my friends said that she's having to hover over her kids because they're constantly needing assistance, with the work that they're being given. Another parent was saying that she thinks that the teachers are asking too much of the kids because she's saying that it's not possible for her. And now this is a friend of mine that has, I think she got like 4 or maybe 5 kids. So, she's saying that as a parent, it's not realistic for her to be able to, I guess, be actually making them in attendance. She's saying that they should be able to do it 3 days a week, and the teacher should be happy about that for them to be logged in live 3 days a week.
Well, here is the downside to that. Okay. I can understand that, and I can understand as far as it being overwhelming for a parent. But at the same time, like, our curriculum doesn't stop. When we came into school this year, we didn't get the quarantine version or the virtual watered down version. We got the full curriculum. Because remember that, like, we've got teacher assist specialists that are working on the curriculum all during the summer.
Okay.
So
you're saying they didn't adjust?
They did not.
That's crazy.
Well, no, because the information still has to come. And one thing that I have learned and I saw through this pandemic is that we're not going to go back. So
what do you mean?
Last year when we came into the district, we got a new program, and when the lady who taught us to use it, she said that we are moving more towards a technological society.
Oh.
And with that comes you have to have better reading comprehension.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have those things. It's just there's no way around it.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, here we are in a pandemic. Our kids already lost the spring.
Yeah.
Because in our neighborhood in DISD and in the southern sector, we had maybe about 60% logged in the spring.
Oh, okay.
Whereas up here in Frisco and Plano, they had 100%. Lake Highlands, they had 100%.
Well, I mean, but you also have to consider and be fair. Or they might have 100% of every person in that household has their own device, and we don't need anything from the school. I'm
not knocking it. What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, that gap continues to widen.
Okay.
So.
Well, but I guess. So how can, because we do have to wrap this up, how can parents and students, not parents and students, how can parents and teachers right now come together and keep the students on the right track? For the parents that do care and don't want their kids to fall behind, but also are saying, hey, I'm still working, this is overwhelming for me too.
Right. And so, so I can't speak for every teacher.
Right.
Okay, and everybody is different. So, but I know that in our district, in my school, we are showing a lot of grace.
Okay.
And even though we have due dates, and most teachers, and that's just like across the board, even not just my school, they show the kids grace. We have a due date because we want you to turn it in. Go ahead and do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, if it's not the end of the quarter, we're gonna take it.
Yeah,
we're gonna take it because we what we really want is for you to do it, for you to get to gain those skills. I'm an in-person teacher, so my kids are coming back, and I'm just like, I'm praying that once they come back, we can get some of these things turned in and and wrapped up. So
you're ready to kind of review everything,
right? And so
give them another chance.
I'm hoping and praying that once we get to that point, that I can just tell the kids, come on, and I'll pick and choose like what assignments were more important than others.
Okay.
Like if my kids hadn't figured it out, I just deleted a whole assignment today, just because it
seemed like they wasn't quite getting it.
They really weren't, and we don't really have the time to go over trying to. And it was more tech. It was more tech, and then I was finding out that we have a lot, and the schools have poured a lot of money into trying to find different programs and things that make the kids want to do this a little bit more.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they're not getting it. So all this extra tech, if we're not on the basics, it's just a lot of tech.
Okay.
So I'm I am prepared, and hopefully we have all of our systems and laptops and stuff back when the kids come back. Is I'm moving forward with tech because I need my kids, and that just it just worries me. I need my kids to be able to meet this world on its terms.
So if this ever happens again, you want them to be more prepared.
Number one, if it ever happens again, I do want them prepared. Number two, my kids need to do more than just know how to turn on games.
Yeah.
My kids need to do more than just, I know how to click an app. But what can you do with the app?
Right.
You know, I really want my kids, my students, my little black and browns, to be able to meet this world on its terms. I mean,
absolutely.
Like I said, we're not going backwards, and I can actually see this being the new normal. A new norm.
Okay. So, and that was the whole question. I don't know if it actually popped up on the scroll, but that was my question. That was the subtitle to today's conversation, community conversation. Is virtual learning the new normal? And you have it here from a teacher. She says yes. Without even being asked, she says yes, that is the new normal.
They haven't told me that. Don't go back and tell your administrators that Mrs. Mosley said absolutely anything. No, I see where this is going, and in all honesty, like, we can have more students if we're virtual.
Okay.
Just like a college can have more students if they're virtual. So
it sounds like for parents and teachers to get on the same page, it just needs to be a little bit more grace and empathy extended from both ends.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, we had Meet the Teacher, and that way, you know, you can kind of see where the teacher is coming from and everything, and it wasn't a lot of engagement. I will say,
now, out of how many students do you have in your
I have 60 students.
You have 60 students. How many parents came?
Maybe 10.
10?
Maybe 10.
So that's 10 parents that showed up to this event to meet their teachers virtually, not even showed up to an event. It's 10 parents that logged on to a computer to chat with their kids' teachers out of 60 students. So, I mean, you got to be willing to meet the teacher halfway. Now, for the people that, you know, gave me input the other day when I asked, I'm assuming that you guys are doing the best you can. I'm assuming that you guys are going the 100% that you can go and meeting the teacher that 50%. But just for anybody who's listening, just try to meet your kid's teacher halfway. This is almost like another co-parent that you're working with, because your kids spend so much time with teachers. Think about when we was in school, we spent 8 hours a day at school like it's a job or something. Yeah. Just the same way you build relationships at work, your kids build relationships, with their teachers, and their teacher is another authority figure. That's why I said, you know, not to disrespect nobody, don't take it the wrong way, but it's almost like you're working with another co-parent, because this person is pouring so much into your kid. You know what I mean? So you should want to meet them.
I always refer to when I talk to my parents, these are our students.
Yeah.
You can't say this is your student. No, we're working together.
Absolutely.
Because your child is not going to succeed without me. And I know that in order for your student to come here and act right, I need you.
Right.
So we are co-parenting this student. And I for one, I really can't wait for my students to come back. You know, or these are my new students. So just for them to come.
You're anxious to meet them and everything.
I'm anxious. I actually, you can ask any of my my coworkers. I have virtual lunch with my students every day, and it started out with maybe 1 or 2, and I think I'm up to 6 or 7 now. And the real goal was so that they don't feel alone and isolated.
Right.
You know, because some of them are new to the district, or you know, just really didn't have a good ending to last year, or whatever, and now they're actually, I'm really not even on the call anymore. They've X'd me out.
Oh, they just talk to each other.
And now they're talking to each other. They're playing games with each other online on the lunch break.
New students that didn't know each other.
Cool. And so, you know, and I provided that safe space, and I'm actually happy about it, you know.
Nice.
That I didn't have to be, you know, in the conversation. At first they were only just talking to me. And so now, like, my homework assignment really is Mrs. Mosley, can you get in the game? And so, and I was having internet issues this weekend, so now I got to try to figure out how to get into this game so that I can at least know what it's about, so I can at least have a conversation about it. So, but yeah, so I mean, it is more than just school, but like even when the kids come back, it's gonna be different, and I don't even know what that different looks like.
Right.
They're saying there's no dances this year. Our kids live for sock hops.
Okay, well, Mama, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
I do have to wrap up,
You see how she do me? And didn't even pay me and gonna cut me out.
I mean, I definitely said we had to wrap up a couple times. This is how she do when we on the phone. I'd be like, well, I gotta go, and then it'd be another 20-minute conversation. But anyways, thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate you. Thanks for giving us that information. I really hope I had some parents watching. If you didn't get to catch it live, I hope that I got some parents that will watch it and, just listen and take this information and show your teachers a little bit of grace, and just let's all work together and move into this new normal. We all moving into a whole different society right now. But we're going to jump into the true crime segment. Are you going to hang around or you going to get out of here? Huh?
Do I get to talk?
Not so much. You can ask a question maybe, or throw in a but
I don't know, I might just hang out.
Okay, so what we gonna do now, y'all, I'm gonna get into the true crime. Now I got something really exciting for y'all. I'm gonna be talking about a young lady named Chandra Levy. Now, I believe my producer, Lama, has a couple pictures of her. I sent them in order, but it's going to be from the bottom up. All right, I hope y'all are ready for this. It's a young lady named Chandra Levy, very ambitious, independent young lady, had just moved to the D.C. area. She was pursuing her master's degree and just got caught up in some mess. She got caught up in what all 23 and 24-year-olds get caught up in, a love scandal. Now, if y'all seen the show Scandal, this was kind of like that, but on a lower level. Anyway, this young lady, Chandra Levy, like I said, she was actually interning at a prison. So a lot of people felt like, okay, here she go. This is Chandra. As you can see, beautiful smile, just gorgeous young lady. And she was only 24. She had just turned 24, matter of fact, about 2 weeks before she met her untimely death. But, just a young lady on her way to the top. She was very interested in politics, but it was said that she was probably trying to pursue a career in law enforcement. Like I said, she was working an internship at a prison, and when she first moved to D.C. to start her master's program, she and a friend had went to the White House. Now, initially, they were just kind of going on a little tour, checking out the White House and everything like that. But they ended up meeting their congressman, Gary Condit. Oh, now, so Chandra was actually she was living in Modesto, California, before she came to D.C. Gary was her congressman in Modesto. But anyway, so he was in D.C., and they go to his office to see if they can meet him. They expected actually to just see a secretary and for him to be gone somewhere. But, of course, he see two young, beautiful ladies. He come out. He immediately come out, introduce himself to them. Kind of showed him around his office and everything. So, Gary was like this older, kind of a sleazebag type of dude. I'm going to just put it out there. He was a sleazebag. He might still be a sleazebag. I don't know what he up to nowadays. But, so he, like I said, see these two young ladies, and he just, like a lion, just pounce on them, just nasty. So he gives Chandra's friend an internship. Just off the bat. He don't even know this girl. And he just gave her an internship. What made him think that she was qualified? What made him think she was professional? He ain't got no resume. He ain't did no background check. But I digress. So he gives Chandra his card, and, he just let her know, hey, if you need anything, call me. Why would this, 40, 50-something-year-old married man, congressman, think it's appropriate for him to give a 23-year-old young lady his card and tell her to call him if she need anything? What would she need? But, he thought it was appropriate. He gave her his number, and, Chandra, she called him, Chandra, like I said, she was ambitious, she was young, so she probably was attracted to him being a congressman, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put nothing off on her because she was just a young woman, and she was on her stuff. It's not like she just went to, and yeah, this is them. So look, that picture don't look innocent to me. I'm just throwing something out there. He got his arm all around her and stuff. That's not appropriate. You don't even know her like that. So that's Gary, obviously to the right, and that's Chandra, just looking like the angel she was, and you could just see in his eyes he got malicious intent. They just beady. I don't trust people with beady eyes. He just, just looked like I don't even know, but I'm not feeling his vibe already. So, anyways, like I said, Chandra ended up getting in touch with him. Next thing you know, they done kicked it a couple times, whatever. April come around, Chandra's getting ready to graduate. Actually, I'm thinking that. Oh, okay. So yeah, this all happened in 2000. She met him. So I don't really know what kind of program she was in, but whatever the case was, she was going to graduate in April. So maybe she just got the internship in 2000. So anyway, she was getting ready to graduate, and she goes missing. She actually, because she had completed her graduate program, she was kicked out of her internship. Not kicked out on bad terms, but just kicked out because she was no longer a student. So with that being said, she had no reason to stay in, Washington, D.C. anymore. So she leaves D.C. and, well, no, she hadn't left yet. She started preparing to leave. She starts packing. She canceled her gym membership. Chandra, she's not really just ready to go, but she doesn't have no reason to stay. Like I said, it's time for her to start her life. She's growing up. Mm-hmm. So she go ahead and pack her stuff up, and then one day she actually left home and never came back. But unfortunately, because she was in D.C. and because everybody kind of knew that she was getting ready to leave and stuff, nobody knew for a couple days. Her parents was expecting her to come home in a little bit, but they wasn't really expecting to hear from her either. So after they didn't hear from her for 2 days, that's when they were kind of like, okay, what's going on? So, and then once, she must have had another job, and when she didn't show up to work, that's when it kind of just set off alarm bells for everybody. So everybody is looking for Chandra, but the landlord is telling her parents that he can't go in their apartment. In her apartment, it's not legal for him to just go in her apartment because they called him at this point. So he starts putting like notes under the door from her parents. And eventually, Chandra was still on her parents' phone plan. So eventually her dad actually pulls up her phone bill and looks for, numbers that she called frequently. So he sees just one number over and over and over and over again. She's talking to this person multiple times a day, all the time.
It was the senator.
Yeah, so he calls the number, and it's Gary Condit's, it's the congressman, it's Gary Condit's office. So my thing is, before we even go any further, they're not even talking on the cell phone multiple times a day. They're talking on his office phone. I would imagine that those calls are recorded. I would just imagine that all calls that come through the White House are probably, being surveillanced. But, whatever. So Gary talks to her parents, and he pretty much at first was kind of like, I know Chandra. I was kind of mentoring her, but, we wasn't really that close. But I'll do whatever I can to help find her.
But they talk multiple times a day.
Exactly. So her mom is like, no, I'm not going. That's BS. Even though her dad was the one that spoke, her mom was listening in, and she like, no, that's BS. So come to find out, Chandra had actually told her aunt about the affair. For everybody else, everybody knew she was dating somebody. Like, no, she was into this guy. Like, Chandra was really into him, like, to the point where she thought he was going to leave his wife for her. So Chandra had told her aunt who he was. Everybody else, she was just kind of vague. She didn't really tell her mom who she was dating. Of course, she didn't want to tell her mom she's dating a married man. Even if he is a congressman. She did tell her mom at one point, all of this will make sense in 5 years. So I'm guessing that they had discussed some kind of 5-year plan for him to leave his wife. As they all do. It's always a plan for him to leave his wife, and somehow the girl always come up dead. Anyways, so Chandra, so the police get involved. They contact Gary. And when it comes to the police, he pretty much like, oh, no, I really didn't even know her like that. Like, we was cool, but I didn't really know her like that. Like, we spoke a couple times, but, it wasn't really like that. Like, she didn't really intern for me, so, she didn't have no reason to be up at the White House like that. And so, anyway, the police end up getting into Chandra's house finally, and the notes that had been placed up under the door, the first thing they noticed is that the notes was not, like, just around the door where they should have been. They were kind of scattered throughout the house. But anyway, besides that, they tried to get onto her computer, but supposedly the police officer that tried to pull up her search history didn't really know how to use computers that well, and somehow he corrupted the whole thing.
That sounds fishy.
Yeah, so it was weeks before they were able to recover, all the information that they needed. But what I will say is that it was 2001. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's not like, that's what I said at first too. At first I'm like, nah, that sound like, like he paid him or something, like the congressman. But, and I mean, that still could be the case.
Yeah, but it was 2001.
Yeah, and with it being 2001, I didn't even know the word search engine in 2001. So anyways, with that being said, like I said, weeks go by before they even get that search history information back. And when they get it back, they see that Chandra searched for Rock Hill Park or something like that. It's some kind of park in D.C. And you know what, before I even go any further, let me just state, I got all my information from, different podcasts that I listen to. Of course, what I'm giving y'all know is kind of just a brief synopsis. It's so many more details. There's so much more to it. But I just want to give y'all information about stuff that's going on out here so y'all can know. So the podcast, I listen to a bunch. It's so much information about this case.
She got me hooked.
Yeah, I listen to Crime Junkie, Conspiracy.
Crime Junkie.
Crime Junkie, the best one. It's a bunch. If you just type Chandra Levy, it's so much information about her. And I didn't even really know about her until I heard about the case. But apparently this was really big in 2001. Unfortunately, once 9/11 came, that was right after they found her body, and her case kind of just lost some of the traction it had in the media. So anyways, weeks or maybe months go by before they even get that search history information back. They find out she was searching this park, and immediately they go to the park.
So what was the deal about the park?
Well, she had canceled her gym membership, so that was the thing, is that she was searching. She had searched the weather, and then she searched that park, so they know that she probably went to that park to go jog.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's what they said. Like, Chandra was big on like her fitness. She wanted to stay in shape. So now that they went to that park, they ended up finding out at some point. Like, at first they didn't really find nothing. They kind of just searched. Like, this is always so stupid to me. They just kind of searched around the trail, but they didn't go down into like the crevices and like little tunnels and stuff like that. So they don't find anything initially. And actually, it's 13 months before Chandra's body is found.
13 months? And where was it?
In the park. In like a little ravine, like off to the side, like kind of, I guess, down like a little hill. It was off-road, basically. So
did she roll, or was it foul play?
Well, it was definitely foul play. Her death was ruled a homicide. Now, what I will say is that, unfortunately, due to the elements and the time that had passed, they weren't really able to determine the cause of death, but they were able to determine that it was a homicide.
So
because there was blunt force trauma, yes. So what they did end up finding out about this park was that there was a guy going around attacking women in the park. This guy named Ingmar Gwandike. Now, Gwandike is he's one of them people that really give immigrants a bad name, unfortunately. And of course, he don't represent all immigrants. Yeah, that's him right there. Just looking like an attacker. He looked like somebody that attacked people. No BS, like, for real. So he going around. He came here with good intentions. He came here under positive precedences. He came here to make a better life for his family back in I want to say Guadalupe, maybe Mexico. His family was overseas, whatever the case was. And at first he was working, sending them money. But unfortunately, Gwandike ended up falling into the wrong crowd, as a lot of people unfortunately do, especially when you dealing with poverty and stuff like that, which he may have been. So he ended up getting hooked on drugs and becoming an alcoholic. And, eventually he started attacking women in the park. And what happened was, how they found out about this was 2 of the women got away. He attacked 2 women and they got away. I believe it was another woman that he actually had killed that they found out about. But 2 of the women he attacked got away. So he grabbed them, and one of the ladies was actually jogging with her husband. The messed up part was, they always jog together, but usually the husband would go ahead of her at some point. So her husband had just got out of eye shot and Guandique come up from behind her. She tried to outrun him. She started booking it because, maybe she was racist. I don't know. But she see this young Mexican dude jogging behind her. She gets scared. She start hitting it.
Well, I think that if I see somebody jogging behind me, I don't know, just the paranoia in me, I'm going to start jogging a little bit faster, too.
Yeah, and that's probably how she felt. Like, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to start speeding up. And at some point, she starts running, and obviously he starts running. So he grabs her, and he kind of pulls her down the same ravine that Chandra had went down.
Okay. Now that's making sense.
Right.
Because I was just like, maybe Chandra twisted her ankle, and she did a roll and then hit her head on a rock.
He dragged her down that same one.
Okay.
But that was actually, this happened before Chandra even disappeared.
Okay.
And so he took her down that same one, but she just fought him like tooth and nail, and she was able to get away. Okay. And she just found somebody on the trail and had them call the police. And so then that's when the police found him. The first lady he attacked, he didn't even know that she had been taking self-defense classes. So she just beat him up. Like, let's just put that out there. She beat him up real quick, and she got out of there. And the park police did take the statement, but for some reason they never relayed that information to the regular police. So I know I'm getting my dates mixed up because this had to be after Chandra. At least the second lady had to be after Chandra, because after they found Chandra's body is when Guandique was locked up. So when they found Chandra's body, initially they never even looked at him because he was locked up. And the police from D.C. didn't even know about this park killer, this attack guy, because the park police never told anybody. They never put the information out there. Mm-hmm. Even after it was found out that Chandra was at this Rock Creek Park or whatever it's called, they never told the police about this attacker. A lot of information just kind of ends up coming out. So anyway, the way they get Guandique is his cellmate ends up being a jailhouse snitch. So his cellmate ended up contacting the police saying, hey, Guandique told me that he the one who killed Chandra. And come to find out, when the park police actually arrested Guandique in the first place, they showed him Chandra's picture and was like, have you ever seen her? Because when they asked him what happened with the other lady, he said he just bumped into her and that he was trying to rob her for money. But she said, no, he never asked me for money. He was about to rape me and kill me. And she had a big engagement ring on her finger. So if you was trying to get money from her, that's the first thing you would have did was took that ring and ran.
Okay.
So they showed him Chandra's picture, the park police. Now, mind you, like I said, they never gave none of this information to the real police. They never even wrote this down. So I don't know why they took the information, but they take the information and they say, have you ever bumped into this girl?
And what do you say?
He said, yeah, I bumped into her too. But, yeah, he didn't admit to killing her or nothing, but he said, yeah, I bumped into her too. I've seen her before.
That's very interesting, though.
Right. You're admitting that you've seen her and interacted with her. So that's what his cellmate says. That's what the snitch said. Of course, now when the police asked Guandique about it, he says he's only seen Chandra in the news. He don't know nothing about her. He's only seen her face. Now, the police still don't even know about what the park police say. So anyway, the whole time, so much time got wasted. Let me just make a long story short because I got to wrap this up too. So much time got wasted in that whole year because the whole time the police thought that Gary Condit did it. Now, ultimately, Guandique did not get charged for Chandra's murder. At first, he did. He actually did get charged. He actually did get convicted. But then it turned out that the jailhouse snitch lied about a whole bunch of stuff. And so, yeah, they threw it out. It turns out that he lied about not being a snitch. He said he had never snitched before. That turned out to be a lie. He was a known informant. He told them that he was like trying to change his life around, and that's what made him want to tell. That was a lie. He was still gangbanging. Like, he was actively like calling hits and stuff. So his credibility was completely shot. So Guandique is not serving time for Chandra's murder. He is in prison on some other charges though. Now, as for me, they're saying that Gary Condit couldn't have did it. They had to eventually let Condit off the hook because he wasn't even there. When the time Chandra would have went missing, Gary was actually doing like politician stuff. He was actually with Dick Cheney that whole day. So I mean, If you're going to have an alibi, Dick Cheney a pretty decent one.
Yeah, but it's not like he couldn't have called it in.
That's what okay, we on the same page. Because that's how I feel. Yeah, we here. Because I'm still convinced. If Guandique didn't do it, which he could have, but we don't know. We kind of just assume, which I'm still not even sure if that's racist or not, because we like assuming that the Mexican dude did it.
But Guandique said that.
I mean, he did rape him.
I mean, because who remembers someone that you bump into?
Well, it's the fact that the park police never documented that he said that. They didn't write that down.
Right, but I'm saying no.
And then they also didn't tell anybody. So this was years later that this information came out.
Right, but I'm saying though that if you bump into somebody, unless you actually had words with that person and spoken with that person, how many people do you actually bump into on a regular basis? Would you remember, even if it was a couple of days later? It's like, I could have, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna cop to anything and tell you that I know anybody. I don't care if I did speak to you. I'm not going to tell you.
Well, I'm going to just say, I agree. I totally agree with that. But I'm going to say that the park police dropped the ball on that one because they should have documented it at the very least.
At the very least, yes, they should have.
And they should have given it to the D.C. police that they knew was looking for Chandra.
I feel like the entire case was botched because she sat in the elements for months, 13 months. Did you say 13 months?
Know. Yes, they didn't find her body for 13 months.
So so any evidence
the worst
that was
part
on
is
it's gone. And
that whole time though, they was looking at Gary Condit. The whole time. They never considered any other suspects.
Well, I mean, he's still to me is still a suspect because he could have called the hit in.
I'm gonna agree with you. What almost kind of gives him a little credibility to me is that but actually it doesn't, but what would give him credibility is that people were saying, why would he have killed her and she was finna leave?
Because he didn't want her to leave.
No. It would make more sense to me if he was going to kill her because he didn't actually want to leave his wife for her. I don't think he was ever going to leave his wife for her. I believe she was a young girl that thought he was going to leave his wife for her. And I feel like, if anything, he would have wanted to get rid of her.
But maybe she was behind the scenes because no one knew about their conversations. Maybe she was going to make waves.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, if she was going to leave D.C., you had less to worry about. No. But then why I changed my mind on that is because she was going to leave. Okay, so now I'm back with you on the same page. She was going to leave D.C. and go back home to Modesto, where his wife and kids live. Right, because he lived in D.C. Monday through Thursday to work. And then Thursday night he goes home to be with his family. So yeah, you know what? We back to it. I'm not a detective. I'm not a police officer. As a matter of fact, I'm completely unqualified to even talk about this subject matter. I do want to say all respect to Chandra Levy and her family. I don't mean no disrespect. I just want to talk about the case so people can kind of have an idea of just what goes on. And just to know that, unfortunately, her case is unsolved. So just the more exposure, maybe some more information can be found. Because she actually hasn't gotten justice, to be honest. So I just want to say I don't mean any disrespect at all to her family. If anybody ever happened to hear this from her family, just know that I just have all respect. And, you know, I feel like Gary Condit has something to do with it. Like I said, I'm not a detective or nothing. I probably shouldn't be speaking on it. So I'm going to just say allegedly. He had something to do with it, you know, let's just put it out there. He had an affair. She was about to, stir the pot. She was tired of being a side piece. She said they had a 5-year plan. He probably got to feeding her that, it's not that simple. It's not that easy. So Chandra was probably like, I ain't trying to hear all that. I'm finna blow the spot up. So, yeah.
He could have. And it's real easy to blame it on a transient minority.
It is, exactly.
And I'm not even saying that, what was his name? Guandique is completely in the clear because, why would you even...
He was attacking women, that's for sure.
Right, but why would you even add a body count or anything?
Why would you even say... I just think he was not smart enough to say... and then the thing is with Guandique at the same time...
Where was he from? Is he fluent in English?
No, he wasn't. And that was another thing. They
could have tricked him.
They gave him a polygraph test, and then they refused to get him a translator for the polygraph test because they said it would skew the results. So yeah, they handled him wrong. So whether he did it or not, we won't know.
So is he in jail?
He is in prison for something else though.
So
I want to say he killed another woman. He actually killed a woman, but 2 women got away.
So, but why wouldn't he be extradited?
back to where he came from.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he might did. I mean, I'm fuzzy on the details. I'm just relaying some stuff. Like I said, this ain't nothing official. I'm not a journalist or nothing like that. This is just like I watched something on TV and I'm telling y'all about it.
And I don't know, that doesn't sit well with me as far as you saying that he can't get a translator. Like, how often did you question him, even with the ones that he did cop to?
Right.
Did you question him with the translator? Did you just say that was skew? Because people admit to things when you don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that was another thing. So we gonna wrap that segment up. Yeah. So just check that out, y'all. If you really want to know more about it, if you need more details, tell me what you think. Who do y'all think did it? I feel like I said, allegedly. I don't have no bone in this fight. My opinion don't matter. I feel like Gary had more to do with it than what's being said. What do you think?
I said what I said.
All right, so we moving on to the next topic. We only got a few more minutes in here, y'all, so I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. I'm going to go ahead and jump into my advice segment. Now, my producer going to put up a couple pictures right quick. He just going to put up one first. It's the one that's marked up. And, y'all, I'm over here really tripping. So if you're not in the Black Podcast Show Facebook group,
be. It's fun.
Yes, you need to be in that group. We really be in there tripping. So I'm not sure if the picture's going to pop up. That's the one. All right, so I scratched out everybody's name, preserved anonymity because I don't want no smoke. I just thought this was interesting. So this guy puts on Facebook, question, and I'm not going to read it verbatim. I'm going to try to translate it for y'all because, it's a couple typos. He says, question. So I sent my shorties, those are his children, all $150. Well, I sent Lou $250 because I missed a month with her. And my son only $100 because he's a newborn, so he don't need much. I was told, quote unquote, my little $150 ain't shit. Do y'all look at the fact that I sent $150, or do y'all look at the fact that I got 5 kids? In actuality, I came out of $800. Hand to the face emoji. So, I really thought that this was a very interesting topic. I thought it was really funny. Not funny. Yeah, I did think it was kind of funny. But a lot of people were saying, like, when I went to his comment section, a lot of people were saying, these hoes ungrateful. They said, how dare she?
Let me guess. Was it a dude? Were they dudes that were saying she was
No,
ungrateful?
it was women.
Wow.
No, it was women.
Oh, you know why?
Because they don't do nothing for them.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was about, I want to say about 60%